Hey, hey, hey. My name is Noel Hazard and welcome to Make a Wish Foundation. Genshin Impact. It's all about wishes and watching enemies die. With a colorful cast of so anime, it hurts characters. Traversing an ever expanding world which hasn't been completed yet, in order to gain loot, riches, and find your lost sibling. And talking to equally uninteresting NPCs. But the challenge is to get this adventure rank up, which unlocks different dungeons and boss fights. A exploration is needed in order to collect all the treasure chests. For example, over here is a submission that will help. Here is a boss fight that will probably help. As one progress through the world, warriors, enemies, and challenges stand in the way of progress. Like this here, Dungeon Gate. It uses a slowly refilled energy source called this one. It is resin. Which this level is blocked by me not having a party level of 47. Essentially, none of my characters are good enough yet. As for the party, I have a colorful cast of a cheeky electric witch. I have a water witch, someone with a bow and arrow and bomb and fire, and the main character that can switch between each. And a bunch of other colorful anime mongrels. It has to be unlocked through. Some can be unlocked through questing and story. Others are unlocked by making a wish. Which leads to this painful animation, which most of the time leads to junk. Yes. 3-star items are only used to level up another item to make it even better. For characters though, leveling up, getting the same character twice allows ones to upgrade the constellation, which gives passive buffs. The equipment also gives passive buffs. The set items the character can equip also gives passive buffs. Depending on if you have 4 of the same piece, you get an even better passive buff. Set items can also be upgraded by using all the trash items collected and just adding. And eventually it will reach a max level. And get better stats. Difference between these artifacts and weapons is that the weapons can be can be smushed together, like say this one, right? You refine it by adding a different one, exactly the same one, and suddenly it gets better damage abilities. And of course, you can enhance it with render trash material. And also, poof. It's now a level 18 book. And the character will hold said book and use it to, do electric stuff. And yes, characters can only which makes the game a bit of a pickle, because the character game really Genshin Impact that is really wants you to use your own money to go into this here menu here and go shopping and buy crystals for real money, which you can then use to buy in-game items, which allows for upgrading characters faster or getting extra fancy outfits. Or, to buy these wish items, which is needed in order to get 5-star stuff and 4-star stuff. Anything below 4-star is practically less, so there's that. However, I had the clever clogs that made this mess of a game needed to use them for something. It's a thing they hold true to all gacha games of this nature, really. They all follow this same logic, for better or worse. Which means if you have an addictive personality, oh yeah, stay away from Genshin, or you will use your wallet. Combat is based purely based around skill and elementals. Oh no, these dudes are wet. You can then use basic attacks or the special attack or the secondary attack to put them, just electrocute them. Or because wet things get electrocuted. While or you can put them on fire and many other such lovely little things. The world itself is literally a chest that gives, for the most case, just low-level trash items and low-level items and stuff. No, but stuff I just don't care about. Once you have done enough damage in combat, the characters will unlock a super attack and does something awesome. So, in order to show it, right, here is a 3-3-3-star, here's another 3-star, and here's an item needed to level up the characters. They have their own own inventory stuff in order to level up. Recently, they added a new area to the world map, which is this section here. The clever modular nature of the updates means that there is something over here, but it's not made yet or published yet. The character can also climb, glide, and hit things with the sword. You can climb a tree, float down a cliff. The world is littered with secrets, some clever, some mundane, and some just freaking awesome. It all makes the whole experience much more tantalizing. Genshin Impact is also beautifully designed. Even if the voice, especially the Japanese voice acting, sound like they are having a having a shepherd's moment when taking damage. As unfortunately a minor gripe about Asian voice acting in general. And each such explored space can be it can be used as a fast travel point. A great feature in this experience is fast traveling. Yes. And fast travel to places you have been before, with specific beacons in the terrain. As the game progresses on, this special currency called This special currency called resin replenishes, which is used for collecting rewards and opening chests after beating bosses. It also spawn chests. These all have the potential to drop sweet, sweet loot. Or, you know, boring vendor trash items. Dungeons are dungeons. They are bunch of interesting dungeons filled with monsters and challenges. Like everything really, it's a challenge. For example, in this case, the challenge is to destroy all of these enemies as quickly as possible before the timer runs out. There is one. And like I said, the characters can quickly sound like they are being the sound enemies make does not match what they are experiencing. But that's just Asian voice acting in general, really. This is also a reason why the different dungeons also have a level. There's a level cap, you know. You can technically do them, but technically all enemies can be killed with the death of a toast and paper cup. However, that is a fool's errand. I mean, seriously. If you do that, then I'm just gonna waste resources. Also, these dungeons have a chance of dropping a key. This can be used to open very specific stuff. And as you can see here, I have 42 of the resin left. That is a currency that slowly recharges over time. Makes it very hard to grind instances and bosses, which I needed to level up to ascend characters beyond their basic stats. There's nothing new or unique about this, however. But be aware of it. And do not worry too much. I suppose there's no point in sounding like a tutorial when a game literally tell me all of this in the tutorial and more. Be not afraid. Genshin Impact will tell most and all the mechanics in excruciatingly detail from the beginning until whatever new content I post. One can never be truly lost in this world. There's always loot, there's always enemies. There's always some new place to go. And the character will always sound like they like the place and taking they are a hentai character or a Jav character, regardless of what they are actually doing. Oh. Speaking of sound design, speaking of sound design. And yes, I have at least nope, that's just a glitch. And here is a challenge, right? There is a barrier around this item. In order to get that item, I need to jump over the barrier and land inside. How to do that is an entirely different story. Just like bursting this ice boy's mantle while I drop stones on its head and supercharge it while it's down and almost dead. That's what I mean with painful when it goes painfully into details. Game will gladly tell you it all. It even has a beast explanation of the beast. and the combat and the enemies. Yeah, this is Genshin Impact in a nutshell. It has bosses, it has enemies, exploration, and interesting combat. The music is chill and actually it is borderline boring, to be honest. It's there to serve a purpose. However, it's not that interesting, and the sound design is decent, but the quality of the audio mix is could be a bit better. Something about the whole there's just something that sounds off about the whole about the whole sound effect. Feels like it just misses some sort of bass, some sort of impact. However, the world is beautifully designed, and there is always something new to see, as I said earlier. And I'm not kidding. Like here, you have a beautiful frozen world. Oh, you have the Asian country, the European looking country. And yes, you gain knowledge. And you can chase these fox looking eels, these sealies, these fairies. Which is another way to find loot and also it keeps me warm in the cold. Because in case you haven't noticed, all of these characters dresses like they are supermodels and look like supermodels. And the supermodels are not known to survive very long in the freezing cold. Human in general are not. And also, when you die, certain items are you use food, which is in this case use different kinds of foods to revive. It has at least a 40-second cooldown timer, and once they all run out, you're sent back to the previous checkpoint. Co-op is just another player joining you in the open world and starting and fighting things. Fighting things while you loot chests. So a great way to use the resin is to just join someone, then they will open chests, and then they join you, then they will open chests, and so on and so forth. And the world is also filled with bosses and beasts. And the moment I click this, these things on the side is most likely going to attack. Keep in mind, I haven't completed the game yet. Why? Because the game isn't possible to complete yet. See you around, and it doesn't cost anything to play this game because it's free. It's only gonna cost time and wallet and whatever else, and the sanity. See you around, and goodbye.